Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm gonna go over exactly how and why you should be putting a lot of effort into defining your customer profile early on in your process, right? So at this point in your business, you probably just started, got a few customers, right? Those probably still trying to find product market fit. Those first few sales were probably a little bit random, a little bit lucky, still doing a lot of things off the cuff. And that's totally okay because you're still starting to figure things out. But as early on as possible, you're gonna wanna try to put everything into a process so that you have the ability to optimize. And the very first step of this process will be to define your customer profile. And there are a lot of benefits to putting the effort in early to very thoroughly and carefully define exactly what your customer profile looks like. First, it's gonna lay the foundation on how you're gonna develop your messaging, your scripting, your targeting. And now that you've taken the time to really deeply understand your ideal customer and you have it documented, your scripting will actually be a lot more intentional and it's gonna be a lot easier to write. The second thing is it's going to provide a very good structure for you to be able to go super niche and figure out exactly the type of customer you want to go after. Because at this point, when you just start developing software, it's probably really limited on capabilities, right? So you can probably only solve a very specific problem for a very specific group of people, right? So for example, when we started developing software for funeral homes, we were going after every funeral home in America, right? And that didn't really work out. Why? Because we're not able to help every funeral home in America. It's very specific. So ended up having to target, okay, funeral homes in America that serve populations larger than 100,000 people, that are serving over 200 families a year, that have their pricing on their website, that have a direct commission price of less than $9.95, right? That was the target demographic that we had because that was the type of people that we could help, right? So by really taking the time up front to develop and understand exactly what problems you're solving, you're going to be able to define the ideal customer, which means that you're going to save a lot of time on things like having a much better close rate. You're going to have a lot less churn, and you're going to have an overall much happier customer. The third thing, which I don't think is as important right now, but will be important down the line, is that it's going to help you develop a very good onboarding SLA. And this is very good for a company to have early on because I'm going to be honest, at this point of your business, you probably don't have a very good onboarding process. And that's really okay. But if you start to throw a bunch of customers down this process that you probably shouldn't have sold because their problems aren't exactly identical to the problems that you solve, it's going to be super hard to diagnose these issues down the line. So having a very deep understanding of your customer profile will not only increase close rates, but will also help you avoid a lot of problems in the future. Okay, so now how do you go about creating this customer profile, right? In general, what you want to do is you want to write down in as greatest detail everything you can think about this customer. And these details may vary based on the type of business they're in, the type of industry they're in, but I'll give you some examples to help you get started. So you might want to ask yourself some questions like, hey, what industry are they in? What company do they work for? What is their role in that company? How old are they? What gender are they? What's the size of their business? What are their responsibilities? What are the outcomes that they desire? Exactly what metrics do they measure to see these outcomes? What emotions do they desire? What problems are they facing right now? What do they fear? What do they not trust? What change do they need to make to achieve these goals they have? Who do they hate? Who do they like, right? So these are all different examples of things that you can ask yourself about this customer, and you want to write a very, very detailed answer for each one of these questions. And then make sure that's well documented. Make sure everyone on your team agrees that these are the people that you're selling to. And now that you have a detailed understanding of this type of person that you're going to target, you can now use this information to start building out your scripts and your target list. Subscribe, please.